To you. Hey, Emil Amok. Welcome to my takeout, my Emil Amok's takeout. My takes on all things considered. Here we are. Here we are at MLK weekend. Have you started your weekend already? I was preparing for my weekend. Hopefully, it's part of your weekend. It's Emil Amok 69. There it is. It's up there, and it's here. It's my show, 69 Emil Amok. Or Emil Muck 69. It's the same backwards and forwards. That's the whole 69 principle. I'm at the playground. SF Solo Fest. The Solo Fest is different from there's so many fests out there. This is at the Potrero stage on 18th Street. Really cute little block, 1695, 18th Street, Potrero Hill. Tonight, or rather the 17th, Saturday night at 7 p.m. January 26th, 8:30 p.m., February 2nd, 8:30 p.m., and February 7th, 2:30 p.m., I'm doing my little one-man show. Now, I noticed there's this other thing. They're doing like fake TED Talks. This is not a fake TED. This is a real solo show. Comedy. Go see it at the Potrero stage. I was there last night, and the Potrero stage is a neat venue. A neat venue, 100-seat venue, nice neighborhood. It's just a great little place to go see something that is abnormal, something that is non-traditional, something that is fresh, that's new. I'm a real newsman who stands up, a real journalist who stands up. I talk about that. I talk about what I'm saying. I'm talking about the real story of today. The real story. And we talk about that here on this YouTube channel. It is a secret podcast. I don't tell anybody about it. Professor Dan is going to join us in a moment, though. We're going to talk about the news. And I just think that try it. Here's the thing. It's free. Did I tell you it's free? Just go to that website at playground-sf.org/solofest. It's free with donation, suggested donation. I'm not asking for a king's ransom. Just be fair, and whatever you can. Really, a suggested donation. You see the show free in person, or you can live stream it. And it's a 3-camera live stream. It's like they're doing a studio shot, a studio thing of my show. So if you think you've seen it, I did a version of this in Reno or in Fresno. I did a version of this throughout Canada. And this is different. It's a little different. You'll see it's a new variation of 69 Emil Amok. January 17th at 7 p.m. Adjust your time zones if you're in Texas, Washington, D.C., Canada, Hawaii. 7 p.m. January 26th at 8:30 p.m. February 2nd, 8:30 p.m. and February 7th, 2:30 p.m. If you can't see it live in person, I would love to expectorate on you. It's a small theater. But if you must stream it live. And then if you can't make the live stream date, you have a few days to catch up and watch it on demand. So that's the situation, huh? Playground SF Solo Fest. It's at the Potrero stage in San Francisco, 1685 18th Street. Nice Potrero Hill neighborhood. January 17th, 7 p.m. The 26th at 8:30 p.m. February 2nd, 8:30 p.m. and February 7th at 2:30 p.m. It's 69 Emil Amok. People like it. People have said they like comical, often profound observations. You never know what you're going to get. Anyway. So on this show, we like to talk about the news. And, Minnesota's worse. Or it's not de-escalating every time it escalates or de-escalates. It escalates again. More arrests. I think we need to think about why we're having this weekend. We're having this weekend because of Martin Luther King. I think we need to think of King. I mean, there are all sorts of ironies about the King weekend coming up, because not only do we have all this violence coming up, and we don't know all the circumstances behind the violence, even from the inciting incident, the Renee Good shooting. We don't know because they're not having a really full investigation. But something tells me on the weekend that we're celebrating Martin Luther King's birthday that we may be coming up to a new race war. Just little things you hear in the news. Little things like Elon Musk retweeting something about white solidarity. The only thing, and he says, excuse me, he says, if white men become a minority, we will be slaughtered. That's what Elon Musk put this as, seen by 42.5 million people. He says, if white men become a minority, we will be slaughtered. White solidarity is the only way to survive. That to me is like a call for a kind of race war. And you see it mixed up with, the good guy protesters. I know. Do you think, I think the people who are standing up for free speech and the fundamental rights in the Constitution, I see them as good guys. I see ICE as overreacting. But why is ICE overreacting? Well, they're getting at people of color. They're getting at the immigrants that they want deported. And you look at the numbers. Department of Homeland Security put out a tweet this past week that said they want 100,000 or 100 million, 100 million deportations. How do you get to 100 million? There's 45 million people born in foreign countries right now. To get to 100 million, you got to deport all the people who are citizens legally through naturalization, through the 14th Amendment. That's why they want to overturn the 14th Amendment. That's how you get to 100 million. This is a kind of ethnic cleansing, and this realization is happening as we approach Martin Luther King weekend. I mean, this is the bent of Elon Musk, who did all the Doge things. It's the bent of the right-wing MAGA types. That's what I fear as we enter this MLK weekend. We'll talk about this and other things in the news, but let me bring up my good friend, Daniel Phil Gonzalez, the professor of Asian American Studies, College of Ethnic Studies, San Francisco State University. Here he is. Hi, Dan. Oop. Hi, Dan. Oop. God, I can't. There he is. Hi, Dan.
Am I going to be on the right?
Yeah. No, okay. I can put you on the left. I'll put you on the left. Hey, so Dan, it's MLK weekend coming up. I mean, that always, people get the day off, but I don't know if they're thinking about what's going on in our country and try to reconcile. Maybe we can get
1/5 of the country, maybe even as much as 1/3 of the country, like having a day off, but they resent that it's a celebration of a black man.
Yeah. I know that's sort of the irony. I know that states resisted, some states voted down. So
remember when Arizona held out and they were the last state to hold out?
Oh yeah, I do.
And the
remember
only reason they gave up was because the NFL said no Super Bowl for you.
And I just think that, all right, I'm thinking about how we honor the "I Have a Dream" speech, and you think about how his words that he was hoping in that speech, he was hoping that his children, quote, will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. And if you keep that quote in mind and you see the past actions of ICE, the past actions of our government, and you wonder how, you see how much Martin Luther King's statement has been abused. And you can go all the way back to 209, right? Prop 209 in California.
Well, even earlier than that, there's the 90s.
Yeah.
The 90s with the, closely related attempts. Actually, they were successful. They were not attempts.
Yeah.
But what failed with two major propositions, right? 197 and 209 was getting rid of immigrants. In one instance, they were trying to make the state unlivable.
Oh yeah.
for undocumented immigrants. Was the purpose. And so
Yeah.
when you see that, and when it succeeds,
Yeah.
when 60% of the vote supported that, regardless of the warnings that people like you and I and most of the academic community, at least at the college level, right, college and university level, said, look, this is a horrendous attempt to make California unlivable for certain people. And it really is not only dangerous for them, it's dangerous for the general public because of the denial, for example, of health services.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about 187, which
I'm
was
sorry, 187.
yeah 187. 209 came up in 2009. 187. What was it?
Yeah, no,
Yeah, we got to go back to no two.
yeah, we got to look that up.
Yeah.
There was another in.
No, 209. 209 was in 1996,
That's right.
and
They were only
186.
2 years apart.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
only 2 years apart.
Yeah. And I know, and 209 though, the problem with 209 is it did win using the twisted rhetoric of MLK, and so now
Yes, that's exactly the point. That was exactly the point I was going to make. You just quoted MLK, and the person who led the fight for 209 in favor of 209 was a black man, Ward Connolly.
Yeah,
He benefited from affirmative action by his own statements.
Yeah.
He benefited from affirmative action treatment, and then he turned against affirmative action, not only for the universities, but he was the spokesperson for 209 to get rid of affirmative action
nationwide,
statewide.
Yeah.
209 is only a state proposition.
Right. Yeah, he was the nationwide spokesperson.
But he was part of
the Michigan. Oh, we're having a little difficulty here. You froze there, Dan.
Did.
Yeah.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
So,
can you see me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I mean, I've talked to him over the years. I don't know what his status is now. I hope he's doing well. I mean, we've had civil conversations, reporter source conversations in the past, and I never could understand his political position. But he did become he was a UC regent.
Yes.
Right.
That's how it started out.
Yeah, and so. Yeah, so we go into this weekend and you think about all that happened in the past using MLK, and you just hope that some people will remember that MLK was a big advocate of nonviolent protests. And I know we're slightly switching topics when we talk about Minneapolis, but hopefully some people will remember that nonviolence is the only way to go if you're going to stand up and use your First Amendment rights.
Yeah. I agree. It's the only way. It should be the only way to go. The problem is that the level of violence from people who are wearing the authority of law, is massive. I mean, it isn't always deadly, okay, but it's potentially lethal at all times because those guys are heavily armed at all times.
Yeah.
Now, from a strictly military point of view, they're carrying, quote, light armament, but we're talking about guns that are semi-automatic. Yes, that's true, but they're capable of fully automatic employment. Okay, fully automatic application. In other words, we're talking about rapid discharge of many bullets, and that's extremely intimidating. And this is not like in Ferguson, where there was a deployment of a single hack track, and it had at least a 30 caliber machine gun mounted on top, and they had heavily armed people. But there's a small squad there, with some support. Now you've got people walking around in the streets in numbering hundreds, right? Yeah. And then they're saying we're going to send another 1,000. Okay, we're going to send another 1,000, and this is the way they've been behaving. And it's not just a few. We've got these same size squads different personnel, meaning all these squads have similar behavior, right? And they're all over the place. It's not like
Yeah.
there's rogue elements, right?
Yeah,
There's
well,
not rogue elements.
yeah, also it looks like whatever they do, because of the example of uh, Jonathan Ross, the ICE agent, who's now, um, he's been taken off duty and he's in hiding essentially, um,
And so is his family,
and his
tragically.
family. Yeah, and the thing is,
His half
uh,
Filipino family, because
is that,
his
yeah,
wife is
but
Pinay.
but yeah, but the thing about Jonathan Ross is that he's essentially been exonerated unofficially, but when it comes from the president, when it comes from the department head at Homeland Security, it looks like the investigation is going to be a joke. That it's been predetermined what's going to happen, and so the ICE agents are emboldened by that, emboldened by the fact that they may have carte blanche to do whatever they want, whatever they need. There's no there's no one on the government telling everyone to calm down, cooler, let cooler heads prevail, nothing like that. You only see them reacting or maybe even overreacting.
Yeah. Well, uh, when they have stopped people, especially when they have stopped and detained, meaning, and the detention doesn't mean we're going to hold you here for a while and question you. Detention means that essentially they place people under arrest.
Right.
Okay, because detention as practiced by ICE means these people are sent to a facility and held there. Okay, that is not simple detention, right?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
only that, they're not being further questioned; they're just being held.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And then these people have been arguing, I have my ID on me. And then you see them grab the people, by their limbs, okay,
Mm.
get sometimes kneed to the ground, right? George Floyd style, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then handcuffed and then dragged again. These people are suffering injury, okay? Now I've never been treated that way. It's gotten close a couple of times,
Mm.
back in the heady days of the late 60s and early 70s, and I was concerned. A couple of times I was up against the wall, spread eagle, in the style demanded by the police, and simply because they wanted to investigate us. We were known active radicals, right? And they wanted to investigate us. We were in front of the apartment of one of my friends, one of the people that I was working with in the student organization at SF State, right? And
Mm.
his roommate was in the upstairs in the apartment. He would later become a judge of these
Yeah.
United States of America, okay?
Right.
But this is the way we were being treated when we were students. So the way these people are being treated is exactly the same way that, not the way I was treated, but that Latino kids on the street were being treated. They were
Yeah.
being picked up by police. They were thrown in paddy wagons. And like that one black victim, maybe 10, 15 years ago, was what it was. I think it was in Boston, but it might have been Philly. It might have been Philadelphia. And they racked him inside the paddy wagon, right? They just drove real rough, didn't strap the guy down, no seatbelts, nothing. And
Yeah.
they rattled the place around, took sharp turns, and
Oh,
tossed
I
him
think
around
that was
inside the paddy wagon.
that
They
was
did
Baltimore.
the same thing here in San Francisco, and then
Yeah.
they would dump the kids out on the street.
Yeah.
Unconscious.
I think you're talking about Baltimore, right?
Oh yeah,
I
that's
think
right. It was
I think it was
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is the thing. This has been a problem that's with us, and if you're going to protest this, you just got to keep in mind that when you're up against when you're up against law enforcement, sometimes they do have the upper hand. You can use your free speech rights, but they will define where the line is where you cross, and that's why you have to be ultra nonviolent. And if you're going to,
Oh, by the way, these were plainclothes officers. They were
oh yeah,
known. My nickname for them was the Odd Squad. After
yeah,
there was a real popular TV show called the Odd Squad,
right,
and they wore no masks,
yeah,
so they didn't have any other ID. Okay, but at least you could see who they were. And and some of them, when they were going to read us our rights, they did take their badge out, so you could pick up at least a number Okay,
Yeah. Well,
these
that's the
guys
yeah.
are doing none of that. So
Yeah.
this is far worse. The way they're
Yeah.
treating is far worse than the
Well,
way we were treating.
it's making a comeback, but of course it's with a twist. It's a little different. It's a little more aggressive, and they have the backing of the chief executive, right?
Look,
So
shooting into a car is not a little more aggressive, Emil. Okay, that's murder. That is murder. Okay,
well, well, all right. Murder is going to be a what? That's determined by the court.
sure.
Yeah,
But I'm telling you,
or an
if the courts
investigation.
were fair, if the courts were fair. Now, oh, I want to make another point. Jonathan
Mm,
Ross may have a version of PTSD because he
mm,
got dragged earlier in the year.
yeah,
Okay, well, let me make a point. Why did he get dragged? Because he had his hand inside the damn door. Okay, nobody closed on his hand. He could have let go of the damn car. Okay, but he got dragged because he reached into the car. That
yeah,
is bad police procedure. Okay,
yeah. Well, a lot.
he contributed to his own injuries, and he
Yeah,
repeated that same behavior this time, only with a gun in his hand. He did the same damn thing. His buddy that was trying to pull the door open
mm,
while Ross circled the car with his a gun, his hand on his gun and his hip, and then his telephone, and then I mean his cell phone, and then he kept switching. When he switched hands, I knew there was a problem.
yeah. All right. So look, the one thing that's lacking in Minnesota right now, in Minneapolis, is no one is coming. The mayor, the governor, they're saying don't take the bait. People are going there, and ICE has multiplied in its number. It's an invasion of Minneapolis, but no one is saying. No one with authority on the Fed side is saying cool down. No one
No, they're escalating.
yeah. So it's
They're lying. Okay,
yeah,
Noam is saying outright, "We've done everything by the book."
yeah.
Okay, and then when what's irritating to me about the way it's being covered is people keep saying, "Well, it's about training." Hey,
Mhm.
man, this guy was at least 20 years in law enforcement,
Yeah,
and he's a former veteran.
yeah. Hey,
It's not about training. It's about what kind of person he is. Okay.
that's true. But also, look, the justification that the Homeland Security people have put forth, like one was on CNN today saying, "Look, if the states would only let us into the prisons, because well, those are the bad guys. The bad guys are incarcerated now. Leave the bad guys alone. They're incarcerated in the state. Why do the feds have to go in?" But that seems to be the only point that Homeland Security has, that well, if they only let us into the state prisons, well, these are about lanes and laws, and the sanctuary laws were intended not to skirt the federal law, but to say, hey, look, feds, do your thing. We're the state, we're the locals, we have our laws. They want to get into the prisons, and but my first reaction is, well, these people are apprehended. The feds want to deport them now. I guess, right? That's their only. I mean, why would they?
Well,
Why
yes.
would they?
Yeah. Obviously,
Yeah,
that's their goal. All
yeah,
right. I mean, there's no other reason to go in except to pull them out and deport them.
yeah.
Okay.
But they're under control. So instead of dealing with the fact that people are under control, they create more problems by sending in all these troops to get not the bad guys who are already in prison, but to get decent people who are contributing to society, who are working and paying taxes, and they're in other words, they're going after the good people, the good immigrants, and the criminal. There's not enough criminals that they can go after
Look,
to get
man. Look,
their
these
100
guys.
million.
These guys. Look, have you listened to any of the freaking recordings that people who are witnesses have recorded about these guys? It's not just about the visuals. These guys are saying stuff. Oh, we got another Honduran here. Ha 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 ha, and
Yeah,
laughing.
yeah,
Okay, okay, and laughing. And how about this? How about I'm a citizen? I have my ID in my pocket, right? But please notice I have my ID. That doesn't matter. That's the kind of response that they're getting.
Hey,
That
are we
doesn't matter. That makes no difference.
coming to this point? I mean, uh, where people are going to be asked for that. I mean, we are already at that point where people are being asked for their pay. It wasn't necessarily a thing, but now it is. Everyone has to be carrying a passport or some kind of real ID or
When you
something.
were remember when you were the first time you had the gig in Canada,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
I half jokingly said, "Yeah, yeah, I mean, they don't require a passport as long as you have a strong ID, right?"
yeah,
But I was saying to you, carry the passport, and I said, I hope in appropriate circumstances it makes a difference,
yeah,
okay? And you laughed it off because you got to go anyway, okay?
yeah,
But look at the situation, man. These are
yeah,
people inside our own country that feel that they have to keep appropriate ID, including a passport. Okay. And they're saying openly, I'm doing this because I'm brown, right?
yeah.
I'm
Well,
Latino, and this is why I'm doing it. Okay.
well, this is the new, like I was saying earlier, this is a signal of a new race war when you see these Nazi themed messages that the Homeland Security is putting out, that Elon Musk is retweeting. I mean, that retweet that he put out where he talked about if white men become a minority, we will be slaughtered. White solidarity is the only way to survive. That's from Musk.
Well,
He,
okay. They're already a minority in several states.
oh yeah,
And
yeah.
they haven't gotten slaughtered yet, man. What's happening?
The thing is, this is inciting language, and Donald Trump. What did Donald Trump say the other day? He just pretty much confirmed what he told in that New York Times 2 hour interview. He was asking about civil rights protections, and he said, "Well, there's some wonderful things, but it also hurt a lot of people that deserve to go to college or deserve to get a job. So it was reverse discrimination, and that it's like I thought we had solved that fight, but he's bringing it up again, and on the weekend of Martin Luther King's birthday, it just seems to me that we're at that point where on the brink again.
Yep.
So all right, that's Minneapolis and Minnesota. Um, what about the Nobel Prize? When I saw Machado give, I mean, first of
Oh,
all, it's one thing. It's like, hey, I just drank all of this expensive, uh, uh, Norwegian, right? It's from Norway, right? The Pulitzer, or the Nobel. I just drank all this expensive drink, and now I'm going to hand you the empty can, Donald Trump. And he takes this empty can because my first thought was the Nobel comes with a $1 million prize. Uh, if I already got the $1 million prize, I'm the honoree. I'm just giving him the residue of this prize, which is a medal, right? Which isn't, I mean, but this is in line with,
nah,
you
man.
know,
You know what
South
it is?
Park.
Okay, I got it. I got this wonderful. I was given this wonderful, wonderful chocolate bar. It's the
Yeah,
best chocolate bar in the world. Okay,
yeah,
I ate the chocolate. Here's the wrapper. Okay,
yeah. And the
here's
rapper's
the
not
wrapper.
named Snoop Doggy
Okay,
Dog. Yeah,
this is what it is. Okay.
yeah. The rapper
He
isn't
said,
named 50
"Oh,
Cent.
I'm honored. I'm really honored."
Thank you for giving me your prized garbage. I love it. Well,
Oh,
I just kept wondering. This is in keeping with the sycophantic way that you must speak to curry favor to Donald Trump, and South Park had it right where the sycophantic pledge is, "Mr. President, you do not have a small penis." Oh, the phrase that pays. Anything you want, I'll give it to you. And it just struck me as that. So I felt sorry for her a little bit, but I felt sorrier for our president. Our president
I
saying,
feel sorry for the Venezuelan people.
yeah, well, yeah, the Venezuelan people, because this is our leader who's willing to play this kind of game. And look, here's the other thing. Donald Trump is dealing with two women now. And how did the women react? Not in this strong way.
You better finish that up because wait, a three-way.
Well,
Whoa.
I just think that the women were all they were all so willing to to be to be nice to Trump. Now, maybe nice in this way that it doesn't mean as much. Like we were saying that, oh well, you know, here got the expensive chocolate. Here's the wrapper, right? But they're playing to their strategy seems to placate for whatever strategic gain. I don't know. Now before when they captured Maduro, Donald Trump thought Machado was just she's not worthy. Now he praises her.
Right. Well,
that's the way politics works now, huh? I guess.
That's the way Trumpism works.
That's the way Trumpism works.
And everybody knows it. So the whole world is looking at that stuff and pitying Machado, who's now lost a couple of degrees of respect, right?
Oh,
because he did that. I mean, that's really asinine.
Well, wait a minute, though. Now, is it any different from? I had some colleagues who were talk show hosts, and if you were liberal, you had to go right, and some people went really right, and they kept their jobs. And the people who stayed normal and reacted normally to things and weren't even political. I wasn't even political when I was doing more a lifestyle kind of talk show. Yep. But because I didn't flip over right and wasn't perceived to be that way, I lost my job. And, I was reading the other day, one guy was, he was kind of had some health problems but he hung in there for a long time and was a star just by flipping, just by doing the sycophantic thing, like of Machado. So you're right to say that, Machado has lost a certain amount of points in terms of...
On a world scale, yeah. Oh, yeah. On a world scale, she has. But see, who's got authority? That's the point. That's the thing that makes her foolish, is who's got authority. And she's pretending as though Trump has significant authority and that he could, if he placed her and blessed her and said, okay, you the woman, okay, that's going to be good. And it's not going to be good because it's Trump, okay? It's not going to be good. It's like, the Cubans saying, in Florida saying, Trump's going to go get Cuba, all right? Okay, if that happened, that's not going to be good. And it's not going to be good for them.
Yeah,
they're still not right.
Yeah, well, he's not. He makes these threats, and it makes Cuba feel bad when Marco Rubio does all this stuff, in terms of Venezuela, but the Cuban regime is still there. They're not moving. And how about Iran? He supported the protesters. Said, "Oh, protesters, you go out there, do your thing, protect your institutions." And then he said, The U.S. will be there to protect you." And
help
then
is on the way. He said help is on the way.
Help, and then suddenly help is not on the way. And some Iranians went out there and protested and lost their lives.
Many people.
Many.
Did you hear how sloppy the sloppiness of the reporting on that was just incredible? As 2,000 and as many as 12,000. What the hell?
Numbers are always hard. Anytime there's, even in war, trying to get official numbers in war usually takes some kind of...
Oh, there you go, bringing up Vietnam and body count again.
Well, that's the thing. You want to say how many people were killed. That's why the numbers are important, and that's why you get sometimes in journalism the way they characterize it. They say throngs of people, or throngs. I like the word throngs. Throngs hurt. The throng. Where are your throng?
Yeah.
My
throngs were so tight.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I'm chafing. I got chafing, man. I had to put on anti-chafing wax.
The throngs. Yeah, there's those throngs. Hey, listen. But Iran. Some of the reports, I heard this on CBS. They did a
Oh no.
and I know because
Yes.
CBS is the new place to
Oh man,
BS news.
I was watching one of the Sunday shows, and they're going to do a discussion on the military significance of the Trump decision about Venezuela. And who do they
Yeah.
have on? McMaster's.
Oh,
Okay,
McMahon. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
former member of the first term Trump. He didn't last that long, right? He was one of the
Yeah.
first of the generals to get exited. Okay,
Yeah.
and he went on and he did Trump hugging the whole time. I mean, it
Oh
made
wow.
me want to vomit, man. That's
Well, this
CBS now.
that
That's
yes.
CBS. How
Yeah.
long before CNN goes that route?
Well, I don't know, but they had the Homeland Security person on today, and they did not. They were just they
Polite.
just pressured her. No, no, they weren't. They pressured her. They said, what happened to Renee Good was wrong, uh, and this is where the spokesperson came back and said, we have arrested and deported all these killers and these rapists and murderers. You don't never report that, and we deported them. And then this is where she said, and if all you did, if all the state did was let us into their prisons and deport these people, we'd be fine. But they have, she just put the problem at the sanctuary cities. But they were
Right.
tough. CNN was tough on her. McLaughlin, the
No, oh, okay.
yeah, the spokesperson for Department of Homeland Security.
I take it
I
back.
thought
I thought you were saying she was on CBS, but
no, she was on
she was
CNN.
on CNN. Yeah.
No, but what the thing on CBS I saw was the report from Iran about the protester who took Trump at his word and went out and protested, thinking that help was on the way, and help is not on the way because Trump is. This is the way
He's
Trump
full
does
of
it.
it.
He
He
promises,
no.
yeah, and flips. So, all right, let me just a couple of other stories that caught my attention. While we still have Trump on our minds, the poll numbers are bad. I mean, we're at a year, and the numbers of people who disapprove of Trump, the numbers Republicans he has a hold on. Republicans stick with
Yeah,
him.
they're 89% still say
Yeah,
immigration
yeah,
policy is good.
yeah.
They like it. That's
But the
89% of Republicans.
Yeah, but the independents and the Democrats are
Right.
all, and people of color.
66% of independents condemn him.
God, and I was surprised that blacks were as high as 29%, and even they've peeled off, and Latinos have peeled off from Trump back to I don't know where. Maybe they're independents now, but this is why you're hearing all this stuff from Trump about, hey, I'm going to cap your bills, your credit card bills at 10%. Hey, here's the great health plan. Hey, here's this, knowing that to get any of that done is going to,
Do
you
you
can't
have
just
copy? Do you have a copy of the 2-page
health
state
plan.
health plan?
Uh,
The first page is a banner page, and it
yeah,
just says "Great Health Plan."
yeah. It's
The
just
Great Trump Health
it's
Plan, and then
yeah,
the whole plan is on the second page, man.
yeah. It's not a health plan. It doesn't even mention pre-existing conditions. The headline they like is, we're going to give you the money directly so that you can pay the insurance companies.
Hey,
And
man,
what do you think the insurance company?
look at
What's again?
look at Project 2025 was over 900 freaking pages, okay?
Yeah,
But his
yeah.
great health plan is a cover page and one page.
It's not so great. It's not well because all these things are going to have to be worked out. Dan, they're going to
Oh
have to
my
be
god.
worked out. All right,
Uh,
so the polls. I think he's going to be hurt by the polls, but I think maybe the Marjorie Taylor Greene effect is happening, and people are saying, we got to like get over this. This is a lame duck. We can't empower the lame duck. Why are
too
we
much
empowering the lame duck?
look at too much of the general American voting population are like
Mm,
like the early Roombas that
mm,
you got to hit a wall and it'll change direction, and that's the only way that's going to clean up, right? Because you couldn't program it to do rectangles and stuff like that. So that's exactly what they are. They remind me of those little bumper toys that
yeah,
run into a wall and change direction. I mean that's exactly what the American public is like. Too much of the American public is like that. They
yeah,
don't have a firm grounding, and they don't have for themselves a firm position, a personal ideology. They do not have that.
Yeah.
And people who do not have that, when they lack a real understanding, one, of the way the political system works, and secondly, when they don't have values that are associated with that structure, okay,
Yeah.
then they're
Yeah.
vulnerable to all the crap. And now
Yeah,
there's
they'll-
more crap than ever. Okay?
Yeah, they'll just say, "Hey, I heard this. This is good. Hey, I heard this,"
Oh,
and then
man.
they're with misinformation and conspiracy theories. Hey, I heard this thing about a great healthcare plan. Darn it, he's finally doing it. The great healthcare plan. There's no great healthcare plan. All right, so more noise from Donald Trump because he's going down, and as the polls fall, you're going to hear more noise from Trump, where he's just throwing things and hoping it sticks, and like 10%, 10% cap on credit card debt, or not debt, but interest rates. That sounds good, but it isn't going to happen. It isn't going to happen because the banks won't let him. Anything Trump does. Here's the problem. Anything Trump does on a whim is liable not to help the economy but hurt it and be more
Can we
inflation.
make that? Let's make it real. Let's make it real by reflecting on history.
Yeah.
Okay. When was the last time that federal government, and then we'll talk about California later, but when was the last time the federal government tried to restrict inflation, okay, by taking action against interest rates?
Was it in the 70s?
Yes.
The 70s, when interest rates were, when we had stagflation, right?
Yes. And what presidential
that was Ford. Whip inflation now, right? Wasn't that? No.
No, man.
Oh, wait a minute. Who was it? Nixon?
Carter.
Oh, well, that was right. Okay, it's in that era, in the 70s. Okay.
Carter. Inflation started getting real bad right after 75. Okay.
Right.
And one of the reasons was we pulled out of Southeast Asia. Okay. So when you leave Southeast Asia, you deserting all of that military equipment, you're bringing veterans and the civil employees home, okay, and you already have an unemployment schedule going on, okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to increase that, right? At the same time, 2 times now, okay. The first time 74 because of the first so-called Arab oil embargo. It was actually an OPEC oil embargo because it was more than just the Arab nations, that held back on oil. And then again in 78. Both of those things contributed to inflation. The third big thing started in the Nixon administration, and that was not only moving off the gold standard, but moving off the silver standard as well. Remember
Right.
when?
Yeah,
when
I remember. I do remember that.
Bills.
But I do remember how inflationary things were. I mean, the high inflation rates, man. I just remember 16%. Was it? It was
man. By 1980, okay, it was 18%.
18. Yeah. All right. 18. I knew it was high
And
because
we're talking about 30-year mortgages.
yeah. And people had to be creative, and they had to do these wraparounds. Remember the wrap mortgages, and they were almost as bad as.
Well, yeah, but remember what happened in the Filipino American community. There were Filipino, real estate brokers and real estate and loan brokers that were telling their relatives and friends, look, you can get these really low mortgage rates. You can buy more houses now. Look at the way the houses values have been going up. It's 10, 15% per year. All you got to do is buy now, right? Make the payments on the mortgages, okay? 2, 3, 4 years, but before the balloon payment comes, because you're going to be paying interest-only loans. That was the key, interest-only loans. And so these people bought not just one more house, some of them bought in 2 houses, and then others bought in outside state markets because the houses were really cheaper in other states, okay?
And they lost their shirt. I know.
BKs. By
Yeah, yeah.
1979, 80, 81, 82, 83, just in Daly City alone, BK, if you're a lawyer, you could do BK bankruptcy advising and all that, and you could make your retirement money. That's
Yeah.
how bad it was. People
Oh
lost their
yeah.
businesses, they lost
Yeah.
their homes.
It,
Yeah.
it was bad. It was bad. This is the thing. It's a cycle, and now we're going through a Trump cycle, and we recollect on the history to see how bad it could get or how bad it could be.
Well, let's
But
let's go let's
it's
go
get
to who really fixed the problem. Carter's plan really fixed the problem. Who took the credit for it? Reagan took the credit for it. Okay,
oh
people
yeah,
gave him the credit for the plans and the policies that Carter pushed. Secondly, in the state of California, there's a guy named Jerry Brown,
yeah, you're Brown.
and what did he do? I was a state employee, all the way up until like 2, 3 years ago. State
Yeah,
employee. I'm still getting my state retirement and all the rest of that. Okay,
yeah.
but
What did
during
Brown do?
those several years in the 70s, he froze our salaries. We didn't get any increases, even though inflation was going crazy, and
Yeah,
therefore our dollar was buying less every day.
yeah.
Right? Okay, he froze our salaries.
All right,
Okay,
but how did that fix it? By freezing the salaries.
it didn't contribute to inflation because the unions couldn't go forward and keep saying we want more money because the inflation rate is so bad, right?
Oh yeah,
And
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 so
then and then that set us up for Reagan and the anti-union period.
oh yeah, Patco and all
They
that.
started giving up. The unions started giving up all kinds of benefits, right?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
took cuts in health
See,
benefits. They took cuts in retirement benefits, and that continued for damn near 50 years.
yeah. See now, Dan, you're going back to the '80s now, which is good because I go straight to the 19th century when I talk about Trump. And it's good that you're stopping in the '80s or start because the '80s are important. Someone mentioned that we need immigration reform now, and who was the last person? Reagan, last
That's
big
right.
immigration reform.
And
Uh,
and and the right was pissed off.
yeah, but we need well, but Reagan was from California. He knew the importance of real reform, and that's the last time. We've never had immigration reform. Since then we got this broken system, and that's in part why we have ICE out there banging heads. All right, so look, let's wind down because we're going into Martin Luther King weekend. But before we do, we got to mention this one case, the Visha Ratanapakdi case. Visha was the Thai man, 84-year-old man who in 2021 was
Pushed from behind.
was killed by Antoine Watson. The jury yesterday found Watson guilty of the lesser charges. Not He was acquitted of murder, convicted of manslaughter, and some analysts are saying, well, he's served like 4 years in jail waiting for the trial. Maybe he'll get credit for time served, and maybe he'll be out and no jail time. What do you think about this case? Because this case is important because Ratanapakdi, as a Thai American, this was a time when people were talking about how Asians were being attacked. It fueled really the Stop Asian Hate movement.
Yeah.
This killing, and now it gets manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter, not murder to the first degree.
Yeah.
He was,
Well, unfortunately, it's not satisfactory, obviously, to the family.
yeah,
But when you look at the video, okay,
yeah,
what this perpetrator did was push him from behind. All right. Okay. So that is not necessarily a demonstration of the intent to kill. The family wanted first-degree murder. There is no way that act qualifies as first-degree murder. Okay. It seemed very spontaneous. Okay. And it does not show that he was willing to do the kind of act of violence that would with certainty take someone's life.
Yeah.
Second degree murder, little less, okay, required. Not the intent. The intent factor is a lesser requirement, but was he doing something that highly likely to cause, okay, death? And the answer there is not so clear, okay, because it was an elderly man, and that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons that he was less likely to be able to either resist the push or to survive a fall, especially if he hit his head, okay.
Yeah.
And so the problem with this case was, and here's where my criticism is, the judge. The judge did not let photographs of Mr. Rashanapatri show. It wasn't shown to the jury, and they didn't mention his age. If the report that I saw is true, that they did not let them mention, the prosecutors mention his age, okay, that's really, what is she saying? Is she saying that a picture would be too biasing against the interest of the defendant? Is she saying that a statement about his age and therefore his vulnerability, right, is too prejudicial against the defendant? That was terrible, and I think the family should appeal. If that report is accurate, the family should appeal.
How about, and then there's also a civil case that can come, but
they got nothing. I mean,
you're dealing with a 24-year-old.
I got a lot of money.
Yeah. So, well, the man convicted was this guy Watson, convicted of involuntary manslaughter and assault. The jury deliberated 6 hours yesterday and acquitted for both first and second degree murder. Reports say he still faces up to 8 years in prison, with 4 years each for the manslaughter and assault convictions. But there are some
no hate.
No hate. There's no hate. There was no hate enhancements. I thought there was enhancement because of advanced age. No.
They didn't do that either.
Yeah, they didn't do that. So
that was terrible.
I know that I think
really terrible.
We'll see what happens. January 26th is when the court considers aggravating factors, and then they'll have the sentencing for Watson. Well, it's sad for the family. What's it do in terms of the people who are out there saying stop Asian hate? I guess it should make them feel angry that, hey, this happens, we don't get justice.
Disappointment at the least. No surprise.
Yeah.
No surprise. I don't think this judge had any of that in mind at all.
Yeah.
Okay. It's terrible. It was really terrible.
Who was the judge?
I can't, friggin'.
I don't see the judge in my notes here. Well, it's sad, but that will come up later, right? In appeal. That'll come up later. Possibly. The family said, my father was an 84-year-old man who was attacked while simply walking in his neighborhood, and that loss can never be undone, she told the Chronicle. Alan Wong, the supervisor, called the attack malicious evil and said justice was not served. Well, all right, one other story. The Trump administration suspended visa applications from 75 countries. Why do you think the Philippines was left off the list? It included, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal, Pakistan, Cambodia, Laos, but no Philippines. Why do you think? Because we got a backlog? What do you think?
I don't know. Probably Marcos said the right things to him when he met with.
Well, I had that came to mind. Well, no Philippines in here. No. And I just thought that
maybe it's because all of them got somebody Filipino doing work for them.
Yeah. Well, did we establish if Walt Nauta he's from Guam, but he's got to have some Filipino blood, right?
Yeah, I never looked up his name, but I think no, Nuata does not. That's not. It doesn't meet the same lexical construction, right?
Of
As,
Filipino?
as a typical Filipino, indigenous Filipino name. But I
Nauta.
keep forgetting to look it up.
Yeah, Walt Nauta from
Yeah,
Guam. And every time I see him mentioned, it links his Guamanian family. So there could be some Chamorro, could be, maybe some mix.
yeah.
I don't know, but Nauta is the not just the valet, the manservant of Donald Trump, and has been right from serving in the Navy and then joining him after in private life. But now he continues to do it now. You see, he's the bald Asian. There's something that Trump likes about bald Asians. Now to his co-conspirator and manservant is shaved head. Stephen Chung, the communications guy, is I believe I don't know if he's Chinese or Korean,
It's
but
Chinese.
he's Chinese. He's shaved
Chinese.
head.
Yeah. Chinese American.
Chinese American. That's right. That's right. So, but he's
Yeah, Nauta is not either
it's,
Pacific Islander nor Filipino in origin. It's actually Dutch and Frisian in origin. And if you just take the A off
now
and you look at the
now
word Naut, okay, obviously it has something to do with
nautical.
sailing.
So, sailing family,
Yes,
the Dutch colonials,
yes,
but he's there in
yes,
Guam or
yes.
was.
So he still could be
Yeah.
Chamorro,
Yeah.
okay? And a lot of people who are Chamorro are actually Filipino
Right.
as
Well,
well
that's what I mean. And
because there's an old
if you
Filipino,
look at
yeah,
Nauta, uh, uh,
yeah.
he's got that look. He's got that. And look, Filipinos claim everyone. We'll claim Nauta for the 40% of the Filipinos who voted for Donald Trump.
Yeah,
Anyway,
there you
hey,
go.
so Dan,
Yeah.
as we wind up, hello to all our listeners.
And by the way, the judge. Oh man, I lost it. The judge was Linda Coleman. Linda
I
Koufax.
don't know.
Linda Koufax in the case involving Vicha, Grandpa
Rotana
Vicha.
Fakti.
Yeah. Yep.
So, all right. So
Fuck me.
we're going into. I said I wasn't going to mention it, but do the 49ers have any chance on Saturday?
Oh yeah, they got
Yeah.
every chance. They could beat them. They could beat them. I mean, it's just simple. Just to see, like I said, the last time they met a couple weeks ago, Seahawks got the best
Yeah,
defense.
they're good. Yeah.
Right?
Well, all right.
They're really
So,
good.
if you're a 49er fan, I understand, but you can be a 69er fan.
I was gonna say there's a little overlap.
You could be a
Yeah.
69er fan. My show is at 7 p.m. when the 49ers should be comfortably ahead in the third quarter on
All right, there
Saturday.
you go.
Hopefully comfortably ahead. But in these games, they always wait for the last quarter, 30 seconds, and then
Oh,
it
lately,
is up to
yes,
our kicker to kick it
absolutely.
through. And our kicker is good. This new guy, right?
Yeah,
Who they
yeah.
brought in to replace the highly drafted kicker. It doesn't miss except occasionally an extra point. But what's his name? Palmero? What? Pinheiro.
Pinheiro,
Pinheiro.
Pinheiro.
Yeah, good kicker. I love the kickers.
Yeah,
So January 20. Here's the thing. If you don't see my show on January 27th, but you see it live stream, buy the live stream by going to Playground SF, playground-sf.org, and get the live stream. The live stream is free with donation. And if you can't see it on the 27th, you can then, after the 49ers win, you can access on demand the live stream.
you just misspoke and said the 27th.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
the 17th.
Oh, you're right. You're right. See it on the 17th. The 17th. I'm sorry. And then January 26th, I do it, and you can do the same thing. It's free. You can see all four because all four are going to be different. All four are going to be different. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
getting a
really?
different show. I mean, I won't mention Elon Musk at all in one, but if he does something stupid, I'll mention him all day. But I'll probably mention a lot about Venezuela in this one, and a lot about Minneapolis, and about Renee Good in this one. But on January 26th, who knows what he's going to do? Because it's all based on the news. It's all based on these.
He's going to do fine because people won't care that he's, a demonstrably
Yeah,
racist. They
yeah.
don't care.
Well, that
People are going to go ahead and they're going to buy his
Well,
freaking
this is
cars
the thing,
anyway.
you get the sense that people don't care, and then you point out lies and people don't care because they like someone to lie for them. They want to be winners, and they're willing, and this is where we are in America, unfortunately. And
Remember a few months ago when he said things as, I disagree with you that they're stupid. He says things that clearly display his racist core and the degree of his
oh,
commitment.
are you talking about Trump?
Okay, to I'm talking
Oh yeah,
about Musk.
Musk. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so several months ago, people could put those little bumper stickers
yeah.
on there saying we bought this before we knew he was crazy. Okay, he's not crazy.
Oh,
He has racist objectives in mind. He believes in racism as an ideological element. This is where this
yeah.
guy's at. Just like he believes in quote free market as an ideological element because it has to do with business enterprise. Okay, he also believes
Well,
in
he believes
racism.
in he believes
Right?
in free market to the point you cannot somehow corrupt the government. Uh, which is really this is the most corrupt. This is the most corrupt administration. I mean, I was just reading something about the Bitcoin thing, about how Trump used to be anti-Bitcoin and now he's all
That's
pro-Bitcoin,
right.
and because
Yeah, they got three
billions,
different coins
billions
out
of
there, man.
dollars on these meme coins,
Yes,
and
yes. The moon
all the
coin
meme
ain't shit.
coins
It's the other
do.
coins. Yeah.
All the meme coins do is to say it just provides him the way, or provides people to give money to Trump. It just says, here's
That's
the
it.
Trump bucket. Just throw it in there, get a meme coin. There's no value, can't spend it anywhere. This is it only serves the purpose it serves is to show your allegiance to me. And he's made billions,
Allegiance.
billions.
Allegiance.
Oh, oh,
It's more than allegiance, man. It's adoration.
adoration. Well, he does say that it's only the only thing stopping his vision is his own morality, right? His own morality.
The- is that somewhat idiomatic, man? I mean, the word morality and
Yeah.
Trump in the same in this in any connection
I
whatsoever.
I I
You
don't
know,
know. I just
you
I
can't,
think
you can't put those two things together in the same. And 89% of Republicans don't give a flying
yeah, well,
turd.
because they want to
They
win.
don't
They want to
care.
win with their bad guy.
But they're white Christian nationalists, man. And then you got people of color who are saying, "Me
Yeah.
too, me too." You ain't
Yeah.
white, fool. Me too.
Oh,
I'm right
yeah.
in there. Well, good
Yeah.
for you. Okay,
Yeah.
good for you. Carry your passport. Get a tattoo across your
Yeah.
forehead so that they know you a
It,
citizen.
it's hard.
Okay,
It's hard.
bro.
Hey,
Okay.
listen. No ice will be at my show if you come on January
Yeah, man.
17th or on any of my shows. Anyway, so
Yeah.
here's the thing: it's free with donation. You can come to the show, or you can live stream it, live stream it, and get it on demand. Anyway, all right. So Dan, have a good weekend. Thank you very much.
All right, man.
Happy
Thank you very
happy
much for having
MLK
me. Thank
Day.
you very much.
Yeah.
Daniel
Yeah.
is exiting the building. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. All right.
Okay. Take
Happy
care. There is.
MLK.
Take care. There is my friend Daniel Phil Gonzalez, College of Ethnic Studies, Asian American Studies, San Francisco State University. I'd like to talk about the news on Friday. Thank you to all our regular viewers who are there. You know you are. Ophir, Juanita, hi, Juanita, hi, Ophir, Hi, everyone. Spread the word. Spread the word about our little show here, and also about the show. I was at the theater yesterday. It's a great theater, the Petro Stage, 1695 18th Street. Right, the Petro Stage. Great little theater. So tomorrow, 7 o'clock, 17th. Then the 26th at 8:30. That's a Monday. February 2nd, 8:30 p.m. That's another Monday, I believe. And then February 7th. That's a Saturday. Or is that a Saturday or Sunday? Anyway, check the dates. February 7th, 2:30. A matinee. A lot of people like matinees because they like their sleep and they'd rather not sleep while my show is on. So they come at 2:30 p.m. The matinee. Hey, get your tickets there at playground-sf.org. Emil Amok, 69 Emil Amok, Petro Stage this weekend. Thank you for listening. We like to end with a little meditation because meditation makes the world go round. I mean, you put out the love, it comes back twofold. You know how that works. I got a lot of gurus. Sharon Salzberg, she taught me this meditation. It works for me. Maybe it worked for you. So as I wish for me, I wish for you. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. And may you live with ease. Emil Guillermo here. Till next time. Mahal